Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be today's topic video is going to be for the 20th of September. As always, you can enter to win a free read with me just by writing the word compassion in the comment section, being a subscriber to the channel, and giving this video a thumbs up. Those three things get you entered to win, okay? So, and just FYI, if you are entering to win, you will want to watch all week long because I do choose one subscriber each week, and then I always do the free reading publicly at the end of one of these videos. Not always the same day. It kind of depends on what time I have. And I just simply announce it in the video itself. And that's the way I cut down on scammers and stuff. I don't chase people around to tell them who's the winner because I announce it publicly. So anyone who's watching, you all know who the winner is and you all get to hear the free reading. It's just, I try to be super transparent. So yeah, but just a little tip, if you are entering to win, make sure that you're watching all week because otherwise you could miss it if you were the winner. And once in a while I'll have people that keep asking me, you know, have I ever won? Well, sweetheart, you're going to be watching to find out because I have a lot of winners on my channel because I do this every week and have for years. So just that's my helpful little tip. Okay. Thank you everybody for being here. And thank you for having fun with me and enjoying my free channel and just the free stuff that I do. And I hope it always stays really fun. I'm not into stress. I'm all about fun. So you guys make it really fun. Thank you. So we've got movement, card number 28. Talk about fun. Riding on the back of an ostrich. Heck yeah, I'll do that. This isn't just like movement. This is possibly the 28th, could be an important day. We have somebody flying away in their hot air balloon. So if life felt like it sped up, someone might be saying, you know what? I'm going to de-stress. I'm going to float away. I don't want to stay on this crazy ostrich riding along. It's exciting for sure, but I might want to slow things down. Maybe my movement is to slow down my movement. Oftentimes we think about stuff only like increasing, like that's always supposed to be better. No, not always. Sometimes bobbing along in our little hot air balloon could be the preferred choice. So we might be getting off of this wild ostrich bird, even though I said, heck yeah, I'd ride on the back of an ostrich. That sounds like a ball. But that's only one person's perspective, you know. Slowing things down could be equally as lovely. So important to remember that there's always more than one perspective on everything, right? Let's see. It all depends on what we're hungry for, too. Does somebody want adventure? Does somebody want slow and peaceful? You know, we're gonna love and our situation more depending on what is suited to us. We have a Two of Swords. Well, this is a little bit tough because whoever is trying to, I'm going to say, make this decision to move in a certain direction, whomever they're approaching has their back to them and may not be sure that they want to turn around and receive this individual. So I feel right now like somebody is making a life change. Maybe they're getting off the ostrich, or maybe they've been floating along and they're about to hop on the ostrich. I mean, maybe that hot air balloon is coming in to jump on the ostrich's back and speed along. Could go either way. All I can see here is that the movement is changing tempo. Someone is changing direction. And this is where they're headed. But the person that they want to go and see has their back to them and is fairly guarded. So let's change decks and let's see if we can identify more about that movement. Let's use a deck I don't often use. Tell me about whomever is doing this moving, because we don't know yet. Are they speeding up or are they slowing down? We have a Three of Wands in the reverse. And we have a Six of Cups. I was going to say, even with the Three of Wands in the reverse, this is somebody who wants to put it in reverse. This is somebody who wants to go back to something. They are not looking out into the future of, like, I want to keep moving in this direction. They want to do a Yui and turn back around. This is returning to a soulmate. Okay, so someone's movement, the ostrich is going to keep moving forward. They're getting off of the wild ride and they are drifting kind of slowly. They want to live a more peaceful life. Maybe whomever their soulmate is someone that they view as a more peaceful person. Maybe somebody's had enough of the the fast and busy life, the heck, maybe somebody's career path kept them, just jamming. It kept them so busy, but they really want to slow down. They really want to not be living life at, whatever. How fast can ostriches run? Is it like, it's pretty impressive. Is it 35 miles an hour? I mean, it's something pretty up there. I might be coming in too low, or I might be over exaggerating. I can't tell off the top of my head. I just know that it's pretty significant. They're fast. And I feel like somebody doesn't want to be in the fast lane anymore. So they're thinking about someone who they knew, who was calmer, who was sweeter, who was more gentle. This is what they want. They want to move toward that on the 28th. Or it doesn't have to be on the 28th. It could be almost anything, but the 28th could be significant for this person. I'm not going to say any more on that. I was going to, and I'm not. Tell me about the Two of Swords. So we have a Five of Pentacles in the reverse. We have an Eight of Swords sideways, and we have a Knight of Swords. So this individual is very much like, even though we saw them wanting to get in that hot air balloon and like bob their way into calmer life, they're actually first approaching this Two of Swords person swiftly. They're racing in. They're racing in because they finally feel like, aha, I know what it is that I need now. I need this thing that I left behind. I don't want to be out in the cold from this situation anymore. I now know that I'm not stuck. The only thing I have to worry about is, will this person turn back around and invite me in? That's how I feel. Let's just talk about that individual, that Two of Swords person. I feel like we should change decks to get their perspective on life, who they are, where they've been, what's going on for them. Tell me who the Two of Swords is. Two of Swords is Four of Pentacles, somebody who learned how to hold back. Four of Cups. They didn't like having to hold back. This has felt like a missed opportunity. It's interesting. We keep seeing this person in this, like, I'm going to get really zen. I'm going to focus on healing. I'm going to sit here and like calm my maybe aching heart, my beating heart. This is an individual who learned how to hold back, and yet they sit there and when they sit there in this supposedly zen position, it's not very zen thoughts, right? Because this is, God, I miss this, this is, I mean, I'm holding back from it, but God, I miss this. And, I may want this, but I turn my back to it, and then I sit there guarded against it. So I got to say that this Two of Swords person has not healed. They have been trying to protect themselves from something and trying so hard to let it go. Working really hard. But we have the Magician in the reverse. There's some self-deception on this, and the Ten of Wands in the reverse. They have not let this go. This has hurt. This is not over for them. They have never been able to get beyond this. And that's not, they've been trying. They've been really trying. We have got the Eight of Swords. We got the Empress in the upright. This is an Empress who can't deny in her heart of hearts that a pain that she held hasn't really healed yet. She's, that's super brave for someone to be able to say, I still hurt from this. I still feel this. And yet it doesn't diminish her power. It doesn't diminish this Empress's grace. It doesn't diminish who she is, even though she's aware, I am stuck. I know that I'm stuck. I'm lying to myself a little bit, acting like I can get beyond this, when really, I don't know, she's trying to get to the point where she can let this go. That's where some of the deception is. Because I think she has like a blockage in being able to manifest, because she's still carrying this burden. And I don't know if she knows that is why she's having a blockage in manifesting. That could be where the self-deception is. She knows she's turned her back on this and is trying so hard to heal, but still carries that wound with her. But I don't know that she's aware that this is blocking her ability to manifest. she knows that she's stuck. But even in this energy flow, she still is an upright empress. No wonder she won't reach out. She's turned her back on this. She's withholding her empress energy because she says, I can't give to someone who doesn't want to receive from me. That's what this says. This is like, if we take this and make this a non-romantic storyline, and it may be non-romantic. Just because we see a soulmate energy does not mean it's romance. This could be someone who goes, you know what, my child, my son, my daughter, whomever they are, I love them so much, but I also know I cannot tell them you're making some mistakes, honey. You know, you're living life in the fast lane when that's not even who you really are. You know, you got to take time and find yourself. She's like, nope, they have to do it on their own, and it hurts, and I worry about them a lot, and I care, and my love is there, but I can't suffocate them with my love or my protection. They got to make their own decisions. I can't keep giving them my advice when they're not open to it, or I can't keep offering my love to them when maybe they are like wanting to break loose and do their own thing and find themselves. I just have to trust that, you know, this is going to be okay. And so I kind of feel like if it's a storyline that is non-romantic, that's a great example of an empress saying, I can't keep pushing my love on my kiddo who wants to be their own person right now. The crazy part is this individual has found what's important to them. This individual doesn't want to keep doing what they've been doing. They actually are missing, they're missing home. They're missing the foundation. They're missing that connection. Now, if this is all about romance, and there's a good chance that that's what it is. This empress has been, she's closed off to this person, but I think it's for self-preservation. It's like, I can't extend myself to someone who doesn't want me. And that's an empress move right there, to say, oh, it hurts, it sucks badly, but you don't force yourself on someone. You don't force your love on someone. You don't insist that you care for them, so, you know, won't they please care for you in return? She's got dignity. Her hurt is private. Her pain is there, but she doesn't force her love on someone. Okay. If this, whomever this is, if they are showing up, how is her reaction going to be? We have a Four of Wands, but we also have a Judgment in the reverse, and we have the World card upright. Her reaction is, I mean, of course she's thrilled to see this person. The bond is still there, but the reality of, can this relationship, or should this relationship even try to become what it was before? No, absolutely no. She's not trying to relive any of this. Everything would have to be handled in a completely new way. You know, does she feel like this is something that she would have hoped for? Yes, but not a reconciliation where we revive the same old thing. She doesn't want anything the way it used to be. The way it used to be didn't work. Whether it was a lover or whether it was the dynamics of, you know, herself with her child or something. And it could be him also. I'm saying empress and referring to it as a her, but I don't read for genders. So, you know, empress could be masculine just as easily. But this feels like, to have this person show back up would be a wonderful, it would be a wish come true. And yet it's not to revive the same old conditions of their former interaction. Everything would have to be different. She is, or he is, different now as well. Capricorn and Scorpio energy, and then we had Libra, Taurus in here as well on this side. Real strong major arcana for sure. What is this person with this movement and them changing direction? What is it that they are wanting to approach this individual who has turned their back to them for? Libra energy, we have Justice that came out sideways. They know that they didn't treat this person fair, whether it was their parent or whether it was their lover. They know that they have a lot to fix. Why did this person go off and ride in the fast lane? Or what was this? What was the ostrich representing? We have karma. This person, they had past life lessons that they still needed to settle. Those weren't debts that belonged to her. Those were debts that belonged to them. They might have actually been racing to try to get past life debts paid off. I keep dropping cards. The Magician in the reverse, because that was their blockage. They couldn't manifest something new either. They knew it. I don't know if they knew it consciously or subconsciously. Interesting. Oh, and I'm sorry, she had that Magician as well, didn't she? That's Virgo, Gemini energy, and now they have it. So each of them has had blockage in a different area. Each of them has had, they became her blockage. My God. We have the Six of Cups again. Definitely, like, this person keeps going through past life soulmate stuff. She's a past life soulmate that they want to be with. They know that, but they couldn't deal with her unless they finished out some kind of situation with another past life soulmate. They couldn't manifest anything new because they had a karmic debt to pay off with someone else that they owed something to. Five of Wands is in the reverse. High Priestess is upright. Four of Cups and Ace of Swords. It was needing to cut something off, needing to get clear on something, needing to finish some kind of storyline. It's almost like, if we have a big old laundry list of things that we have to do in a day, I got to run here, I got to go there, I got to go there. And the thing that I'm looking forward to the most is having lunch with the person I care about. However, I first have to go swing by, and maybe I have to see my ex. I have to, I owe them money. They've been holding on to some of my stuff and won't give it back till I pay them. So I have to go see my ex today. And then when I get there, they're going to make a stink, and they're going to insist that I have to do 3 other things before I can get my stuff back. So that's the way that's got to go. Then I got to go and do whatever tasks were placed upon me. And then on top of that, I still have to take care of, my errands, grocery shopping, dry cleaning, whatever. And then finally, it's getting time to go to lunch with the person I care about. Well, I'm nowhere close to being done with that laundry list of stuff. So you know what? I have to rain check that lunch date with the person I care the most about. Not because they somehow became less important, but because I have to go get food in the house. I have to pick up dry cleaning, or I can't go to work tomorrow. And I have to deal with whatever drama or anything that popped up with that ex. So although I made a date with this other soulmate that I wanted to have lunch with, that person, the thing I was most looking forward to, is the thing that I have to rain check. That's kind of what this looks like to me. This individual they've not been able to manifest anything new until they dealt with stuff, until they cleaned out that karma, until they got beyond the squabbling and the arguments, until they also got to the point where whatever big mysteries about whatever has happened has been like clearly defined and cut out. That Four of Cups here, that bothers me a little bit, because I don't know, was this person, did they have some other soulmate that they felt, like rocked by at one point in time, and they were sitting there feeling like it was a disappointment that they couldn't get over? Death card in the reverse, Moon in the reverse. They had to realize that they were holding on to some kind of mistreatment, maybe, that they experienced at the hands. I don't know if this was a lover. Again, this doesn't mean soulmate, never has to mean lover, but there was some kind of mistreatment that they focused in on, and that became, I want to say, they didn't realize that they were focusing so much on how they'd been mistreated by someone else, but that somehow it just lingered. I asked, why have they been, riding in this fast lane? Why were they on the ostrich? It might have been to not have to, keeping themselves really busy, keeping life really busy, in order not to identify that they had to deal with this. They had to set this right. So interestingly enough, the very thing they were trying to avoid doing, they put themselves on track to have to avoid, or to have to deal with it, to have to pay off those karmic debts. to have to close out cycles, to have to recognize where they were stuck, to have to realize that if they keep having situations that make them not able to have that lunch date with the soulmate they want to have it with, if they keep rain checking this important soulmate, they can't have that important soulmate at all. They need to clear up their schedule and get done with everything else, including whatever, hard-hearted upset. Because it's like if somebody dealt with their ex and they were really sour about it, it's not even going to be, they're going to be in such a ticked off mood that by the time they go out to lunch with this other person that they were looking forward to seeing, they're going to be in such a bad mood. They're not even going to bring their best selves to this lunch date. Or at least that's what this person has. That's their energy that we're seeing here. That's the way they'd looked at things. They needed to first realize that they had unfinished business that needed to be dealt with, or they were never going to be able to be in any other connection. And I don't think it's like brokenhearted. We don't see that. It's more like, look at this grumpy little kid sits here. And it's really foolish because the thing that they think should have been theirs, or whatever, however something should have gone, whatever they're ticked off about, it wasn't real in the first place. This is a mermaid. So if somebody feels like, I wasn't treated very fair, and they focused so much on that, I was treated unfairly at the hands of somebody else, that little chip on their shoulder, they blew it into something disproportionate, number one. And on top of it, they needed to gain clarity on that. They needed to realize that that was an issue they hadn't let go of. And again, this could have been past life, nothing to do with anybody presently in their world. But it's like they walked into this world with a little bit of an axe to grind. You know what? I'm still walking around like the world owes me something. Somebody hurt my feelings. They didn't realize that was a big blockage for them. They meet this great soulmate, but they're still blocked. And I feel like they didn't understand why. They didn't know it was them. And I feel like the faster they tried to live life to drown out like the conscience or whatever it was that said, hey, you've got to deal with this. You got unresolved issues. You got something you got to deal with. I think that they had to get to the point where they finally, I guess it's like they fatigued themselves going the wrong direction for so long. Seven of Swords. Yeah, when we build lies upon lies upon lies, it unravels at some point. Seven of Swords. This person was trying to act like they were happy, even though they weren't. They were racing along in life, making sure they didn't have to really think about stuff. They didn't really have to hear their inner voice. We've got a King of Cups, and we've got that Eight of Cups. This person kind of had to basically have this individual turn their back on them so they could sit with their own energy and know that, wow, this person's never reaching out to me again. The person that I most wanted to have lunch with, the soulmate that I know is a soulmate, but that I just kind of couldn't seem to manifest with because I kept running a million miles a minute, placing all these other tasks in front of me being able to be in this relationship. Not because I was delaying the relationship. I was delaying dealing with my blockages, the past life stuff that I hadn't dealt with yet. I had to first be willing to deal with that before I can have this soulmate. That's the part. They had to sit with themselves long enough to open up to that, to be willing to dive down into that big emotional cup of maybe tears and wounds and sorrows and all the things that they got a chip on their shoulder over, or felt maybe disproportionately unhappy about, and maybe not disproportionately unhappy about. It's like they had to go down this road of real self-discovery, though. This is needing to walk alone and find emotional stability before they were going to be able to have any kind of a connection with a true soulmate. I feel like this person's actually been pretty they haven't made an emotional connection with anybody else, even if they were dealing with something that was unfinished business. I don't even know if this person makes emotional bonds very easily with this storyline, but now that's exactly what they're able to do. It was They kind of knew that they had to go down this road, but they were lying. They were trying to fill their life with other busy things. Maybe they had a career that was like super fast paced. They were, running, always finding ways to not deal with the baggage that they needed to clean up. Well, the day has come where they deal with that. That Two of Wands, yep, it's their choice. They can choose whatever they wish. They can choose to deal with it, or they could choose to walk away from it. And I feel like this person finally is like, I got to deal with this. I got to deal with this, because in the meantime, that soulmate will never come my way. Remember, the Empress holds back and says, no, I'm not knocking on your door. I'm not putting up with the fact that you are running all the time, that you know that this is important, but you aren't able to connect. No, I can't try to connect with you when you don't want me to connect to you. Wow, that Empress made a big impact in their life. The Empress and the Lovers. This has been divinely guided, and this person still was like, they've known that this was a soulmate, but the way this individual handled them, giving them the space, said, okay, well, you are going to behave the way you're going to behave, but I won't accept less than, what an empress do. And it hurts that I know I can't give to you and I can't heal your wounds. You have to choose to do that. This person kind of like admires the fact that she had boundaries, that she walked away from them, that I almost feel like they learned something really important there. Like, wow. So she might have called it out and said exactly what it was, and also turned her back on me for exactly the right reason. Because if I won't deal with what I need to, I can't be in her world. She's peaceful. She wants peace. She wants real love. She wants someone who can choose her openly, never without any hesitation. Someone who can open up to her, because she's got a lot to give, but she won't give it to me when I'm not ready to receive it. That's a pretty powerful thing. I mean, I feel like that this got through to this person. It might have taken some time, but at this point, they're finally ready. Why are they finally ready? Well, because they're finally ready. Wheel of Fortune is here. It's divine timing. We have the Seven of Wands that came out twice, and even though I fumbled it, it still came out sideways both times. They're finally comfortable making change and knowing that a bunch of things need to change. And the number one being, can't be hostile. You can't block change. This person didn't want to look at the things that they needed to change simply because it required looking at things. Required looking at old wounds, past life wounds, whomever had wronged them in the past, seeing where they still had a chip on their shoulder, seeing where there was woundedness and pain and things that they were constantly unwilling to deal with, running too fast, trying not to deal with those things. They're finally facing it because it's the right time. So what does that mean for our Two of Wands person? Because remember, we saw her as an Empress, but we also saw her with her own blockages. What does that mean for her? We have got a Two of Cups, a King of Swords in the reverse, and the Star card in the reverse. Interesting, because she's like, this is a soulmate energy, a twin flame energy in her perspective. But there's a lot of wounds that haven't been healed. If she views this person as someone who's secretive, someone who hurt her, someone who, I almost feel like now it's almost like she's saying that they would have to heal her. Or maybe she's even saying openly, I don't know that this can be healed, even though I feel this bond, because I've been through a lot of pain because of this. There's a lot of held back emotions. There's a lot of, remember, we said she didn't say that she's getting back with this person. She said that the connection is real, but she didn't say that this is coming back together. She said it would have to be completely new. She's admitting now that, yeah, this is a really important connection for me. Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Basically, all that wounding, all the stuff that she went through because of dealing with someone who is in that headspace. She went through a lot of grief. she's not going to pretend like that didn't happen or just wave that away. It would take some work to see if this relationship will be compatible and to see if real healing can take place, because I feel like she's not just going to say, oh, okay, sure, you went through all that, and I got kind of pushed out or abandoned while you were blocking dealing with what you needed to, so that in essence was also what blocked you from being able to come toward me. Oh, cool, so now you're back and everything's good, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that. I'm not okay with that. That hurt a lot, and I'm not going to act like that pain didn't have major impact on me. The silent treatment, the ghosting, the all of these things, these are wounds. I don't have trust in this connection. That would take some time to build trust. She's not saying she doesn't want to, but she's just being open with the idea that she's not going to say yes to a connection unless she's sure that she could be healed enough to really want this. She does want this. She feels the vibe. She feels a connection, but there's hurt here now. And it's almost like, what I would say is that an Empress is wise enough to know I can't jump into a romance with you when maybe I still harbor hurt feelings towards you, because it won't work. No matter how much I love you, I'm also, if there's an ounce of bitterness because of pain that you caused me that I haven't forgiven you for, we're not going to have success. We're going to tear this thing apart. So let's not do a romance. Remember, this is not a reconciliation. She's offering this person the opportunity to start new and start fresh, but she's letting them know she's not guaranteeing anything, that she'll build the trust with them. She's willing to work on it, but they'll have to work on it with her. This is a wounded warrior card. She's being super honest about, I would like this to be something, but I don't feel safe. I feel hurt when I look at you. Do I feel love for you? Yeah, but I also feel so much hurt. There's no way right now I could say that I would take you back. All I could say is that I would allow a beginning, a new start, but it would take a lot of work for me to not look at you and still remember that kind of hurt. I mean, that's what it looks like, but she's not doing it to make it difficult. She's not like, I'm going to hold on to bitterness and punish you for it. There's none of that. 5 of Pentacles. In her mind, this person needs to show that they actually, all the love that was there that they didn't choose to take in the past, and the fact that, it just kind of like, it was still there, but there's a bunch of thawing out that needs to happen, because there was serious abandonment in this story, is what it looks like. Abandonment and ghosting. We do have that Ace of Pentacles, but it is sideways. It's basically like they're saying it would depend on if this is real or not. Would they like to have a new beginning? Yeah, but it's almost like, but I don't know who this person is as a healed person. All I know is the person who was still damaged, had past life stuff to deal with, and abandoned and ghosted me and left me out there in the cold. There must have been a significant relationship that had been started. Like there might have even been promises made, and then one person disappeared. So she felt so vulnerable. She laid all of her cards on the table. Her 5 Pentacles were there, were handed over to them freely. Here I am. I would give this to you. And that's when she got dropped like a hot rock. That's, I think, why there's hurt here, because it's like, you got me to lay my cards on the table for you, and then you abandoned it like it was nothing. That's a big thing to try to come back from. Big thing to try to come back from. And no wonder there's not a promise. She's willing to say, maybe you're a different person now. So I don't want to judge you off of past and say that I couldn't ever trust you again. But if I really start out as if we didn't know each other before, that's not ever going to be true, because I remember how you treated me before, but I also do still have love. So I would give you an opportunity to show me that you're a different person now, but I don't know who you really are, because the version of you that I saw before was ghastly. And who are you today as this new version of a healed individual? What does a healed version of you look like? Is it someone that I want to mesh with? I mean, there's still a powerful bond here, but can I forgive you enough to have this work, and not only forgive you, but Do I want this with you? I feel like these two, she may have always looked at this from a much higher perspective as an empress. They have seen her as a soulmate, which is a powerful bond, but uh, I'm not sure that they looked at this with the same eyes ever in the past. And so I think that's her big revelation is, what if this person has never looked at this connection with the same gravity that I have given it? So I kind of think that that's where she's waiting to say, this person and I, we may never actually match where we see eye to eye completely. We might actually view this connection with a different level of gravity. So on one hand, she's glad that this person is back. On the other hand, it stirs up a lot of hurt, but she has a chance to work through that now, which is a huge blessing. But there's also this subtle awareness that this person may not really be her match after all. She's not sure. She's not going to say that this is going to be her person unless it can evolve into that. Temperance. Yeah, it's all about needing to get to that place of harmony. That's the only thing. First is we have to first see, can we heal? Can we heal pain? There's the world again. And then what could we grow into? So she's not racing or pushing or blocking, or nor is she pretending like she doesn't wish that this could work, but she's not saying that I'm sure that this can work. At least not until we see, can all the hurt be healed first? Then we can talk about a relationship. But and again, it's giving this an opportunity to figure out, do we look at this connection in the same way? Maybe this connection has always been more about one person learning lessons and her being someone who helped them learn lessons. I think she's open to that possibility. But we do see this Page of Cups. This could be a new start in romance. But there is one other meaning on this. She may say, maybe we are soulmates, and this person was like a kiddo of mine to raise and help them find their way, even if it was a romantic connection. We started out with it maybe being a parent-child. Maybe that's going to morph into something here where, like, instead of it being this deep, passionate love and this, oh, it's a twin flame where they come back together, it could actually take on a different energy where it's like, wow, actually, I understand now. I was thinking of them in a romantic sense, but it turns out it's more like we were soulmates, where I was someone who helped them, finally face the things that they needed to start to mature, to start to like get some of their life in order so they didn't keep dodging those lessons that they needed to get through. And now they can be in my life, but maybe they're not going to be a romantic partner for me. Maybe this is a different kind of love that I have for them. We do see this Page of Pentacles in the reverse on this now. I said I'd wrap this up and I just keep going, don't I? Hang on. It's because this can go so many different directions. Ends up as a 10 of Pentacles. To me, even though I think it's important, all of the explanation we've already gone through, because there is that big question mark of, okay, if this person is now healed, who are they now? And the Empress is saying, like, I don't really know who you are as a healed individual. I do know that I've been wounded. I'm really glad you found your way. Maybe I always knew that this person needed to find their way, but in the meantime, it doesn't negate the fact that I got abandoned and that all of this pain I suffered at your hands. And although it's not like I'm intentionally harboring pain, I know that I couldn't start a romance with you or anything with you unless I can first see, can that hurt, can that bitterness really be dissolved? Well, it looks like it does. Then it says, okay, now where are we going? What can this grow into? And there's a question mark of, I still don't know. Is this person a lover or is this person a friend? Was this person just a past life soulmate that is important? Well, it turns out being able to start fresh after some wounds have really been healed allows for this new beginning. And it's the tip of the iceberg. All of a sudden, this connection ends up being something so much more powerful, so much more profound. Basically everything that an empress would have been willing to give, they're willing to give back. But it's like these two get to date for the first time ever, like genuinely date as two healthy individuals. There's this tidal wave of emotion that's been, it's like, is right behind the surface, ready to crash. So we don't actually, even though we start out small, not for long, because we jump right into that 10 of Pentacles. It's an interesting story of like separation, change, finding oneself, coming back in, healing that rift that was caused now on this, the wounding is now on the side of the Empress. But it's like there's an opportunity for the rift to get healed and then the connection to begin from the ground up. But because these two already had so much history together, if they really start from a healed place, truly healed, no bitterness in their hearts, this can jump into something amazing fairly swiftly, is what it looks like. And because they know one another, because they've been through so much already, it goes right to that 10 of Pentacles, like a love story that, you know, these two end up having the loyalty, and they wind up having an entire life together now. It's a wonderful journey, but definitely, you know, these characters are kind of like, everybody in this had to keep making decisions, right? None of this was like, okay, that happens, and so now it'll just work. It's like, nope, now comes another decision to make. Can I heal from the wounds that I feel from this connection? Okay, once I've healed, then what does that mean? Are we going to be romantic? Are we going to fall for each other now that we're both healed? Okay, we got to make some decisions about that. It's like one choice after another after another. And I think that's the big message on this, is that everything in life we have a choice in. We have a choice in how we're going to react. Are we going to run from something and keep ourselves too busy to ever deal with the pains that we need to? Are we going to be able to acknowledge who's really important in our lives? Or are we going to say, well, they're important, but to be with them, it'd be a lot of work that I'd have to do on myself. I don't want to do that. We get to make that choice. Then once we do make that choice, it's like, okay, well, I want to talk to that person who was so important. Okay, that's another choice. Now, do I have the staying power when they, first their back is turned to me, and then that Empress finally turns around and says, look, you've hurt me so much. I don't know how I feel about this. Okay, does this person have the staying power? Does the Empress want to choose them? Everybody has a choice at every turn and every step of this story. And that's where what I liked about this story is that they were making genuine choices. They weren't like, ego wasn't in the way. Maybe it was at first in the very beginning, but where we pick up this story is with someone changing their movements so that they can address the things that need to be addressed. So I think that's the big message here, is we have the choice to make, to either address what we want to, go toward the people that we want to, be honest and patient and kind, be vulnerable and explain when we've hurt someone or when we've been hurt. Be honest about if we want something. We don't want to like put ego in the way and say, well, I really want this person, but I want them to chase me, or I really want this, but I want to punish them. There was none of that in this story. And I thought that was a really interesting, like, just like, this is how I feel. We saw that Empress saying, like, I feel a 2 of Cups with you, but I also feel hurt. I don't know that I could get beyond the hurt, and I couldn't be with you unless I know I can get beyond the hurt. So I have to figure that part out first. And that's going to take being around you. That's going to take trying to get to know who you are. But I can't pretend like I feel safe with you when I don't, because I'm still wounded. It's like this, it's so, again, so vulnerable. Like, of course I love you. Of course I feel this, but can I forgive you? Can I heal? I'm not sure yet. And I just think that was an interesting thing, where it was like, wow, imagine if there was no ego in any thing, and our characters only said what they genuinely felt. That's what we saw in this story. And so it was actually kind of a nice one to read, because it wasn't unclear at all to me. It was just like, wow, that's really raw. Well, that's really raw, and that's really raw. So anyway, I kind of enjoyed this one. As always, I'm a storyteller, not a psychic, so do bear that in mind if you are listening to my art. Thank you for being here. I always look for whatever the story is, but I try my best to, never put myself in any stories other than to be like, oh, well, I could kind of understand that, or be like, wow, that's a message I could use to hear, that's some harsh truth or something. But ultimately, these aren't about anyone. So I do put myself in the stories as far as like, I want my characters to, have a happy outcome and stuff. Always cheering for people, but none of these are about me, just like none of these are about you. We make our own choices in life. So I hope that you listen to these as a spectator, the same way that I am, is all I'm a spectator in this storyline also. But yeah, it's kind of a fun way if you think of it like that. So take care and thank you for being with me. Thanks very much for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that jazz. Bye.